Hi guys, welcome back. This is our second electrical video. Okay, as promised, I told you I would put the original circuit that we did in the first video together. I'd put the covers on and all that stuff so it would look kind of like what you would see in a house. And I went ahead and put a little pigtail on the bottom of it so that I could plug it in. Now, we find out whether or not when I flip the switch, if it works. Ta-da! It works fine. Okay, so we accomplished that one. I can touch any part of it. Everything's grounded, everything's connected right. There's no short circuits anywhere, and it works like it's supposed to work. Now, the second thing I want to show you is how to draw the line drawing of this circuit. Okay? So we'll start with a plain white piece of paper, and this is why you're going to have to get a black and a red Sharpie. We're not going to use the red Sharpie on today's drawing, but in a couple of circuits after this one, we're going to need that red Sharpie. So remember, make sure you get a black one and a red one, please. And you probably should have just a regular highlighter also. Okay, so what we're going to do first is, and I'm no artist, all right, we're going to make a quick drawing of what the boxes kind of look like. And they've got the square corners like that. Okay, and then we've got the handy box down here on the bottom. Okay, and we've got our source hot wire coming in here, the 14-2 Romex, and we put a slash across it like that, and that indicates that that wire is our source. Now, we'll go ahead and draw the 14-2 Romex between the two boxes that we had, and we'll make a little circle on this side of the octagonal box with a plus sign drawn in it like that. And that indicates a light fixture. Okay, that's just the standard notation for light fixture. Okay, and we're gonna put a couple of little black dots on it like that. That's gonna let us know that's where the terminals are that we're gonna connect the wires. Then down here on the bottom, we're gonna draw an S with a 1 next to it. And that means, or that indicates, single pole switch. Okay? And we'll put a little black dot here and a little black dot here to designate the two terminals that are on the side of that single pole switch. Now, remember, we do have the one here for the ground, but as far as our pictures go, we're not going to draw in the ground. I'm going to assume that any circuit that we do, you're going to be able to figure out how the ground should be hooked up, because it always goes on a green screw. It's pretty obvious, okay? So what we're going to do is, like our original circuit, we had a black wire, which was the black hot wire, coming out of that Romex and out of the box and connecting to the bottom terminal, just like that, okay? And we also had a black wire coming out of the Romex into the box and connecting to the top terminal, just like that. And then that black wire followed through the Romex and connected to the gold, and I'll put a G under it here just so we know it's gold, connected to the gold terminal on the light fixture. Okay? Then remember, the wire that we used was 14-2 Romex, 14/2 Romex. And that's in between the two boxes, and it's also the source. All right? So keep in mind that that 2 indicates that there's 2 color-coded wires in the jacket or in the Romex, okay? And again, we're going to disregard the ground wire right now. We're only going to deal with the actual color-coded wires. Okay, so we've got the black wire taken care of from the source. It goes to that bottom gold terminal on the single pole switch. And then on the Romex in between the two boxes, we've got the black wire coming out, attaching to the top terminal of that single pole switch. And we've also got it coming out through the octagonal box and attaching to the gold terminal on the light fixture. Okay? Now, all we have to do is deal with, I'm going to make a little kind of square right here. And after I make that square, I'm going to go ahead and take my yellow Sharpie, or you can use a highlighter for this too. Highlighter probably works better. And that's gonna indicate that there's a yellow wire nut there. And if you remember from our first video, and if you have to go back and look at it again, do that. But the white neutral wire came out of the Romex, just like that, and attached with a yellow wire nut. Now I'm going to draw two lines whenever I want to indicate that it's a white wire. I'm going to draw two lines like that so that you see a white space between them. And whenever I draw just a plain black hot wire, I'm just going to do it with one single black line. Okay, so we have that. And we also had one coming out of that top Romex, just like that. And then we wire nutted them together with a yellow wire nut. Okay, then from the top of that Romex wire coming out of the octagonal box, we had another neutral wire, just like that, connecting to the silver terminal on the light fixture. So this is just a plain, simple line drawing of the circuit that we built that we just lit up, and the one that I showed you in the first video that we made. Now, here's the kicker. We need to label these. This is the light fixture. Okay. This is the single pole switch. Okay. Now, we're going to make some little squiggles like that on the top of the boxes where the wire is. And those little squiggles are going to indicate that that is a Romex connector. Okay. Now we've got, this is the octagonal box, and here we have the handy box. We've already labeled that we have 14.2 Romex here at the source, and remember that line going across our Romex down here indicates that this is the source. Okay, and we have our 14.2 Romex between the two boxes labeled. We have our light fixture labeled. We have the color of the terminals on the light fixture labeled. One is gold, which is the one that the hot black wire is going to. And we have the silver, which is the one that the neutral white wire is going to. And remember, there are two color-coded wires in our source. One of them being the black hot wire, which is attaching to the bottom terminal of the single pole switch. The other, the neutral white wire, which is put together with a yellow wire nut, attaching to the white wire that comes out of this piece of Romex between the two boxes. Now, as soon as we attach those two, this other white wire becomes a neutral wire also, okay? And remember, whenever we attach a neutral wire, it's only going to attach to another white wire. And that's what keeps it a neutral wire. Because remember, the neutral wire always has to find a silver terminal. So the silver terminal is way up at the top on the light fixture. So we have to be able to move it by attaching it with the yellow wire nut, through the wire and end up attaching it to the silver terminal on the light fixture. Always, 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 the neutral wire is going to attach to the silver terminal. Okay, so that's the drawing for our first basic circuit that we did. All you guys have to do is make this drawing, label the parts, and then snap a picture of it and send it to me in email, and I'll be able to look it over. Now, here's the next one that we're going to do. And I'm not going to build the circuit for this one until after you guys show me your drawing. Okay, this one is going to be a little more challenging. So again, we'll start with, the octagonal box. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest artist. And down here, we'll put our little rectangular handy box. We'll draw in our single pole switch. Very important that there be a 1 under that S, because that is what indicates that it's a single pole switch. We'll draw in the light fixture right here. It's just a circle with a plus sign in the middle of it. That means light fixture. Now here's the only difference. We're still going to have that piece of 14-2 Romex between the two boxes, okay? But instead of our source being here at the bottom like it was in our first drawing right here, we're going to change that and put our source up here at the top, coming into the octagonal box. Now, you're going to have to figure out, and I'll draw my terminals on this, and I'll label them gold and silver. You're going to have to figure out, this is 14-2 Romex. So remember, it's got a white neutral wire and a black hot wire. So you need to figure out what wires are going to, from this source, the two wires from this source, are going to attach. Remember, there's a white wire and a black wire. You're going to have to figure out where those two wires go. And remember, the neutral wire always has to find a silver terminal. And this black hot wire from the source always has to find the bottom terminal on the single pole switch. So you're going to have to figure out, what wires am I going to connect? Because remember, coming out of this, we've got the neutral, or the white wire, and we've got a black wire. Down here, we've got a white wire, we've got a black wire. So where do those wires go in respect to the terminals that are on the light fixture and the single pole light switch? So I'm anticipating maybe a few questions from you guys, and if you get stumped, let me know. But I really think this is something you should be able to figure out, given what we've already done here on the first drawing. Okay, so tackle it, mess with it a little while, and we'll talk about this on Thursday with first and second period, and Friday with fourth, fifth, and sixth periods. So, okay, that's it for today. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you. Bye.